Joining me right now to talk about all of the issues of the day, Georgia Congressman, ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Doug Collins. And Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Maria. It's good to be with you this morning.
So, you know, when you look at the metrics that the president is talking about, the economy, his foreign policy, they're all pretty good, and yet the Democrats are still talking about impeachment. What do you think the American people are going to focus on come 2020?
I think once you get outside the bubble of Washington, D.C., where you have Democratic willing media, you have Democratic members who have been in just a denial stage since November 2016. You go out into America and you see people with jobs. You see people in the morning not waking up worrying about the things of Washington. They worry about how they're getting their kids to school. They're making more money. They're actually getting new jobs. This is what we're seeing in America. President Trump is speaking to that. He spoke to it over 3 and 2.5 years ago when he was elected. He's speaking to it again now, and I believe the people are going to respond very positively to that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've got issues from the border to the economy to foreign policy that Americans want to see solutions, and yet we're really not seeing a lot of solutions within Congress. So what can you do to move the ball forward, Congressman?
What we're doing is we're putting forward the very stark advantage. You have Democrats who are fanatically wanting to impeach a president who is doing a good job, who has a good economy, who's making things better, and speaking to the real issues and not, avoiding those issues. He's talking about the real issues of coming together and fixing immigration, working on our economy, doing trade deals, while the Democrats are simply wanting to tear him down and simply do what I call the summer rerun season. We're wanting to redo the Mueller report. We're wanting to redo everything that we've already done up here. What I've done is said, let's fix immigration. So here's a 3-point plan. Flores, Trafficking and Victims Act, asylum standard. Let's put that out there right now. We've also have a bill to actually give relief to those on our border right now so that we can help the humanitarian crisis that's going on there. We've got the trade deal with Canada and Mexico. Why don't we put that forward, Speaker Pelosi, and let's let us vote on that. Let's move this country forward instead of simply dividing this country and playing one off the other and using immigration and economy as pawns in your political narrative, Ms. Pelosi. It's time to do your job.
Yeah, and I know that you were at the border, so I'm going to get back to that. But let's talk about your committee for a second, because the House Judiciary Committee will have the former White House official Hope Hicks in today to see what she knows about episodes of obstruction of justice in the special counsel Mueller's investigation. What are you expecting from Hope Hicks? And tell us how this is going to play out.
I think it's going to play out the way that my chairman's been playing out for the last 5.5 months, a rerun of nothing. What we're going to end up at the end of the day is what they're asking for. My chairman has this bad habit of asking for documents that he can't have and testimony this covered under executive privilege. He just simply wants the time to have a press release so that the willing media up here will report that the Judiciary Committee is doing something. What's really interesting about this is this is not the first time Hope Hicks has testified up here. This is the second time she's been on the Hill. It's not new. It's new for the Judiciary Committee because, frankly, they don't know how to do their job of oversight. So as we work on this today, it's going to be another day of just progressing a theory that they don't like the president. They don't like anything about him. And so they're just trying to tar and feather anything that they can that deals with this administration. And unfortunately, Hope Hicks is on the hot seat today.
So here we go. You've got more scrutinizing of the Mueller report, even though we know what came out of the Mueller report. And there's absolutely no focus whatsoever on what that cabal of people did at the top of 2016. You've been releasing all of those documents in terms of showing the testimonies of some of those people. Tell us where we are in the investigating the investigator story right now. The insurance policy, the president still frustrated over Democrats not letting go of the Mueller report and not focusing at all on a couple of people putting their finger on the scale, trying to stop President Trump.
Well, if our Democratic colleagues really were looking for an investigation, that's exactly where they would be focused on right now, because the Mueller report we're finished with. I mean, if you look at it, no collusion, no charged obstruction. Then we're going to talk about that again this week in our committee. But here's the real issue. We know now, going back to the investigators, we know that there were problems leading out of the mid-year investigation into the original start of the Russia probe and also the abuse of the FISA court. We've got the Horowitz report. The Inspector General of the Department of Justice is going to be coming out within the next few weeks. We have the fact that we have Durham, Attorney Durham, who has been tasked by the Attorney General to look into this and to use to be not bound by anything, to make sure that the people can trust the Department of Justice and their FBI. If they get to the point where they can't trust that justice is going to be meted out to everyone, then our country is in trouble. And I'm proud of Bill Barr for saying we're going to get the Department of Justice in order. If the Democrats would like to join on a real investigation, I would be happy to have them come to the table and ask the real question on why we got here to start with.
So do you think we're going to see accountability over this? I mean, when you look at people like Jim Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, and John Brennan, who, former director of the CIA for the last 2.5 years, has been saying the president committed treason. Is there any accountability for that?
I think there's going to be. There's an old saying from where I'm coming from, a bit dog barks. And what I've seen so far is Comey and McCabe and Brennan, all these folks have been running to cameras trying to justify what they did or how their actions were, justified in saying, oh, we didn't really do anything. We're simply investigating. You would have done the same thing. No, you wouldn't, because you had a bias. You had a political animus toward this candidate and toward now this president, and that's beginning to come out. So they're trying to spin a story ahead of what they believe is going to come out. All I have to do is look at their actions. I don't have to worry that knowing that the Department of Justice is looking into it, but when they start trying to spin their own stories as they've not before, then you know that there's something that's going to interestingly come out. We'll let their own stories speak for themselves.
Unbelievable. Real quick before you go, Congressman, you were at the border. Do you think anything gets done in terms of all of these loopholes on immigration?
I hope so, because, again, to look at the faces of the border agents and the folks down there who are busting it every day for us, they're the ones that's enforcing the law, and also to look in the faces of those coming across our borders with a false hope that they can come here illegally and it'll all be okay. The Democrats either need to come to the table and say we need to fix this, or they need to admit we're running on open borders. If they don't do that, then somebody needs to hold them accountable.
Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Good to see you as well. Take care.